אותך אף אחד לא שאל כשתגדל ותראה
Motele lived with his family in the village of Kamenovka, Belarus. When he was 8 years old, Motele discovered his great love, music. He learned to play the violin, and soon the violin became part of him.
In June of 1941, Nazi Germany invaded Eastern Europe. The war reached Motele's village. While in hiding, he witnessed the unimaginable. Before his eyes, his parents and his sister Batya were murdered.
Motele fled from his hiding place. He slipped back into his house. He took his violin and little else. Then he ran toward the forest.
One day, a group of Jewish partisans led by Dyadia Misha discovered him. Disguised as a beggar with his violin in hand, Motele traveled from village to village, playing music for strangers. But while he played, he listened, and quietly, bravely, he gathered information about German troop movements, information that he carried back to the partisans.
In August of 1943, Motele began playing regularly at the German Soldiers Club. He listened to their conversations, memorized their plans, and passed vital information to the partisan fighters. Motele had become part of the resistance.
In October of 1943, the partisans joined forces with the Red Army. One day, Motele spotted a German unit advancing toward a group of Soviet soldiers. Motele hurried to warn them. On his way back to the partisans, he was shot and wounded. Dyadia Misha and his son Simcha rushed to the wounded Motele.
Motele looked up at them and asked, "Will I now be able to meet my parents and my sister?" Moments later, he took his final breath. Motele Schlein was only 13 years old.
Dyadia Misha took Motele's violin and kept it until his last day. Upon his death, the violin was inherited by his grandchildren, Safi and Zahava, who donated the violin to Yad Vashem on one condition, that the violin would not remain silent, that it would continue to live, and that it would continue to play. And through its music, the memory of Motele and the torch of life would be passed on. And tonight, its music continues.
Good evening, and welcome to our Erev Yom HaShoah International March of the Living ceremony. Thank you to Salo, Aiden, Mali, and Agam for that moving opening segment. My name is Liz Panich, and it is my honor to serve as Chief Operating Officer of the International March of the Living. I would like to acknowledge the March of the Living board members, staff, ministers and ambassadors from around the world, and Minister of Education Kish and his wife in the audience. Tonight, we gather here in Poland with students from across the world, from Canada to the United States, Brazil to Argentina, Panama to Romania, Belgium to the United Kingdom, Australia to Israel, and many more. We are also deeply honored to be joined by our beloved Holocaust survivors who continue to educate and inspire us. Being here with you is one of the greatest privileges of our lives. This evening is about you, the students, and the survivors. It is dedicated to passing the torch of memory from one generation to the next.
I'm participating in the March of the Living because I think it's my duty as a Jew to pay respect to those who lost their lives.
I want to see with my own eyes what happened with these people in the past.
Important pour témoigner, pour commémorer, pour se souvenir et pas oublier, puis transmettre aux générations pour jamais refaire les mêmes erreurs que le passé.
Espero entender mejor lo que tuvieron que pasar todos nuestros ancestros mientras estaban en el Holocausto.
I hope to better understand the magnitude of what took place.
I want to understand how this atrocity could possibly happen in a town of just regular people.
Yo espero entender cómo los sobrevivientes pudieron seguir adelante y luchar y buscar un futuro mejor.
Being the last generation to march with survivors makes me feel lucky that I'll be able to hear their testimonies and get to know them personally.
It's very important for us to hear from the first-hand source themselves.
They're able to provide me with an experience that a textbook could never describe.
Have the opportunity to create a relationship and hear the stories of these people is definitely going to help me keep alive the memory.
Siento mucha responsabilidad de poder continuar y aunque no hayan sobrevivientes, poder seguir yendo a honrar su memoria.
We have the responsibility to teach the other generations what happened during that time by hearing the Holocaust survivors.
Passing the torch of memory means being able to keep our Jewish history and stories alive forever.
És amit tőlük kaptunk, nekünk kötelességünk továbbadni.
It means a way bigger responsibility, as the survivors won't be here to tell their story.
Instead of them, it will be us, people who had the privilege of actually listening to their testimonies, to be the ones passing down these testimonies to the new generation.
And make sure that their voices are never diminished.
Sur nous va reposer la vérité.
Wir sind dafür verantwortlich, dass sich die Geschichte nicht noch einmal wiederholt.
El viaje es indispensable para cualquier judío en el mundo.
It's remembering, educating, and standing up against hate.
Marcho para recordar, para nunca olvidar, y sobre todo para afirmar que seguimos aquí.
Y es una forma de decir, acá estamos y acá vamos a seguir estando.
Y marcho por nuestro futuro, en paz.
The poet Hana emigrated from Hungary to the land of Israel in the 1930s. She lived on a kibbutz on the seashore near Caesarea. When the Second World War broke out, Hana volunteered to fight the Nazis. She was trained by the British as a paratrooper and landed behind Nazi lines in Europe. She was captured, tortured, and ultimately executed by the Nazis on November 7, 1944, at the young age of 23. She left behind a beautiful poem, which has since become an anthem for Holocaust memory. I would like to call upon American singer and songwriter Happy Hoffman to perform the song Eli Eli. We are here to honor the memory of the Holocaust and collectively affirm with profound conviction, never again. Our week in Poland will teach us about the history and dangers of unchecked hatred so that we can assure a better future for all humanity. But never again, unfortunately, is happening again and again. Tonight, we remember the past, but the past echoes in the present. The rise in anti-Semitism around the world reminds us that remembrance alone is not enough. I would like to call upon 3 participants from this year's March of the Living: Tallulah from Montreal, Canada, Julian from Manchester, England, and Elliot from Sydney, Australia, to share with us how rising anti-Semitism has affected them in their home communities and have inspired their March of the Living journeys. Their presence here speaks to the resilience of the Jewish spirit.
We are here on the March of the Living, not just to remember, but to carry forward the legacy of the choices our ancestors made. The choice to survive, to rebuild, and to create. I am from Montreal, a city whose Jewish community was largely shaped by Holocaust survivors. I feel that history every time I eat at Snowden Deli with my grandparents or walk through the halls of the Jewish General Hospital. Both were shaped by Jewish people after the war as a way of creating spaces where their voices, their pain, and their courage could be shared and understood. Their legacy lives on in the community we belong to today. Attending a Jewish school has strengthened my confidence and my pride in my Jewish identity and reminded me that I am not alone in my questions, my fears, or my hopes as a Jew today. When I first started at Bialik High School, security wasn't something I ever noticed. After October 7th, that changed. Now, when I arrive at school, the first thing I see are our security guards, a reminder that being openly Jewish is not always accepted and that anti-Semitism isn't just history. As I prepare to graduate and move on to CEGEP, I've had to consider not only academics and programs, but also where I'll feel safest expressing my Judaism. It's disheartening that this has become a factor in my decision. During a visit to McGill University, I saw anti-Semitic flyers, misinformation, and Boycott Israel posters scattered across the campus. And yet, despite all of this, I still wear my Magen David with pride, because my Judaism has remained my guidepost. In a world that is constantly evolving, where so much feels temporary or replaceable, my Jewish identity has remained steady, reminding me of who I am and where we come from. Our community has survived because we've held on to it, because after every time we are uprooted, we begin planting again. Even after experiencing the worst of humanities, the Holocaust survivors were able to begin repairing the world, one mitzvah at a time. From their dedication came schools, synagogues, libraries, and hospitals, all built on strength. I am grateful to be part of the March of the Living, where we can learn together about how to carry forward the tradition from our family members that were fortunate enough to survive and to honor those who did not. The same resilience resides in us today, and I know we can choose life the same way that our ancestors have done time and time again.
I am a Jew who grew up in Australia. For most of my life, being Jewish in Australia felt safe, almost unremarkable in the best possible way. And then came October 7th. On the 8th of October, people marched at the Sydney Opera House chanting, "Gas the Jews." I remember watching in disbelief. It didn't feel real. This was Australia, safe Australia, and yet people were openly celebrating mass murder, targeting a people, a religion. From that moment on, something shifted. And over the past 2 years, we've seen synagogues attacked, fire bombings, relentless hate speech, weekly marches against Zionists, 100,000 people walking across our most iconic structure, the Harbour Bridge, openly hostile towards Israel and by extension, the Jews. It forced me to confront a reality I thought I'd never face. Things can change, vulnerabilities exist, and rights we assume are secure need to be defended. Then came the Bondi Massacre. 15 people were murdered. One of them was a dear friend of mine, Rabbi Eli Schlanger. Eli used to come to my office to put on tefillin with me. I'm not a religious Jew, I'm a traditional one, but Eli had a gift. He deepened my connection to Judaism in the calmest and most beautiful way. When violence is distant, it is tragic. When it's personal, it's life-altering. These experiences changed how I think about safety. They led my wife and I to have conversations I'd never imagined having. Do we need an exit plan? Do we need a plan B? Today, standing here in Poland, it makes me think, how many murdered Jews discussed a plan B? How many blindly thought all was going to be okay? That is a devastating thought for someone who loves Australia and my religion, and yet I do have hope. I remain cautious, but I'm also optimistic. Through our strong Jewish community and the many non-Jews who stand beside us, I believe Australia can choose a better path. And I believe we will get through this together, because light always prevails over darkness.
As a Mancunian Jew, I've always felt privileged to be part of such a close-knit, warm, and caring community. It's a place where everyone knows everyone and where everybody looks out for each other. Being from Manchester and being Jewish have always gone hand in hand as two identities that have shaped each other and given me a strong sense of belonging. When I moved to Bristol in September 2024 to start university, I was relieved to find a similar spirit. I joined the Jewish Society and quickly discovered the same rhythm of Shabbat dinners, familiar jokes, and people who treated you like family, even after only knowing you for a few minutes. On the morning of Yom Kippur, October the 2nd, 2025, I woke up in Bristol to the devastating news that there had been a terrorist attack at a synagogue in Manchester. I picked up my phone, saw 2 missed calls from my sister, and everything inside of me froze. I called home immediately, bracing for the worst. Thank God everyone was safe, and only then did I learn where exactly the attack had taken place. Whilst Heaton Park is not my synagogue, it didn't matter. In Manchester, we may belong to different shuls, but the people inside of them are our friends, our cousins, our teachers. And so when one is targeted, the whole community hurts. The place where we gather at our most vulnerable on the holiest day of the year had become a place we suddenly had to fear. Since Yom Kippur, being a young Jew in Britain feels different. Safety, something which I had never questioned growing up, has now become an everyday topic of conversation. Whilst the warmth and pride of the Manchester community is stronger than ever, it now sits alongside a new vigilance that I never expected to need. Our discussions are no longer distant or theoretical, but hit much closer to home. What happens if things keep getting worse? Where will we go? How will we know when it's time to get out? The fact that Jews all over Europe are asking themselves these questions once again is its own kind of loss. However, being here on March of the Living, I'm reminded that our story is not defined only by fear, but by how we move on and rebuild. What gives me hope is not that everything is fine. It's that even when it isn't, we refuse to disappear. We show up for each other, we adapt. We remember, we thrive, and we keep being Jewish, not quietly or apologetically, but with pride. So yes, things feel uncertain, and the questions we're asking ourselves are heavy. But the fact that we are still here, praying, arguing, learning, laughing, is what I carry with me more than anything. Safe in the knowledge that even when fear has entered our story, it has never been the end of it.
Thank you to Lula, Elliot, and Julian for being so open and vulnerable. Thank you for sharing not only your experiences back home with us, but how being here on the March of the Living strengthens your Jewish pride and commitment to carry forward the stories of the survivors and other victims of anti-Semitism, including some in the audience tonight, as we do our part to create a better future. During the Shoah, the world stood by while Jews were being murdered in unimaginable numbers, even closing their doors to those desperate Jewish refugees trying to flee Europe. Today, anti-Semitism and indifference are still far too prevalent. During the Shoah, there were many righteous among the nations who risked their own lives to save the Jewish people, and we honor them with our eternal gratitude. Likewise, today, we have allies around the world who speak up in our defense. Let us together recognize the presence of an international delegation of over 120 chiefs of police and senior law enforcement officials from every continent in the world who have joined us on this year's March of the Living. The inclusion of senior law enforcement officials is a joint effort of the International March of the Living and the Miller Center on Policing and Community Resilience at Rutgers University and the University of Virginia School of Continuing and Professional Studies with support from major law enforcement associations. I would like to ask them to please rise so we can thank them for their service and commitment to carrying our story forward. Sylvan Adams is the president of the World Jewish Congress Israel region and one of the most influential Jewish leaders shaping Israel's global image today. As the son of Holocaust survivors, Adams has dedicated his life to strengthening the state of Israel and its ties with Jewish communities worldwide. He is also advancing a national plan to bring 1 million new immigrants to Israel. Adams is at the forefront of building bridges between Israel and the Jews of the diaspora. Please welcome Sylvan Adams.
Good evening. Firstly, I would like to thank the leadership of the International March of the Living, President Phyllis Greenberg Heidemann, Chairman Dr. Shmuel Rosenman, Global CEO Scott Saunders, and Israel CEO Revital Yakin Krakowski. Thank you for your commitment to making this important event happen year after year. And I want to extend a sincere gratitude to Yoav Kish, Israel's Minister of Education and a former combat pilot who is here with us tonight on this meaningful evening. My dear friends, standing here with you today, for me, is something very moving. When I look at you, especially the young people here, I do not just see students. I see engaged, proud Jews. I see the continuity of a people that refused to disappear. I stand here today as the son of Holocaust survivors, Jews from Romania. My father, Marcel Abramovich, later changed to Adams, escaped slave labor in his native country, fleeing to the land of Israel, and later fought in Israel's War of Independence. My mother, Annie Cohen, survived the war as a child in hiding. Then, with my grandparents, the family made their way to Israel through Cyprus after first being turned away by the British. So for me, this is not history. It is family. What my parents instilled in me was not fear. It was strength, dignity, and pride. And that is what I want to express to you here in Auschwitz on the eve of Yom HaShoah. You are not here only to remember how Jews died. You are here to show how Jews live. We are walking this path not as victims, but as the next chapter of our glorious history. Since October the 7th, many of you are experiencing a new and disturbing reality. Hostility and violence at home in the countries and cities where you grew up. A feeling that the world is turning against us. Anti-Semitism has risen to levels not seen since the Holocaust. But we should not lose perspective. I know from my travels around the world that not everyone hates us, not even close. But the loudest voices are not the majority. Most people, the silent majority, are actually with us. Do not let organized hatred, and yes, it is organized and financed from nefarious foreign forces from Qatar, Iran, and their axis of evil. Don't let the haters convince you that they speak for the entire world, because they do not. So the answer to the haters is not to shrink. Our answer is to stand taller. Be proudly Jewish, be visible, be informed, be unafraid. Know our rich history, and be proud of your people and what we have given to the world. A moral vision that changed humanity, that represents the very foundation of our Western democratic civilization. A tradition of learning and responsibility. Contributions across every field, insanely far beyond our numbers. And the rebuilding of Jewish life in our ancestral land. Israel belongs to all of us. Whether native-born Sabras like Revital, our Israel CEO on this march, Israelis who made Aliyah like my wife Margaret and me, and also to diaspora Jews like most of you. Israel belongs to all of us. And you have every reason to take pride in Israel, because Israel is not only a homeland for the Jewish people. It is also a country that stands on the front line of the free world. Today, Israeli soldiers fighting side by side with American troops are not only defending Israel, they're defending the values that underpin Western civilization. When Israeli pilots are in enemy skies, they are not only protecting our people, but they are confronting forces that seek to threaten the entire democratic world. As we've seen in this war against Iran, Israel is the only true and effective ally of the United States. When Israeli intelligence and technology stop attacks, disrupt terror networks, and defend critical infrastructure, they are not only protecting our borders, they're protecting yours. Israel is a small country, but it carries a very large responsibility. And it meets that responsibility with strength, courage, mind-boggling innovation, and determination. We are the startup nation, improving the world as we make enormous contributions in science, agriculture, high-tech, AI, cyber, water management, energy, healthcare, and much more. Like you, I'm so sorry that you're missing the Israel part of the trip to complete this holy journey. It just means that you'll have to plan a trip soon. And we'll be waiting for you to welcome you in your Holy Land. Expect to hear the same question from every Israeli taxi driver. Nu, when are you moving to Israel? So walk with your head high, learn our glorious history, learn our stunning geography, learn our beautiful, modern, ancient language, be honorable in your personal life as the Torah and the Ten Commandments invoke our people to do. Speak the truth. Do not be intimidated. You are not alone. You are part of an ancient people, and you are part of a living future. That's what this march means. We remember the dead, but we also commemorate how they lived and regret their unfulfilled contributions that the world never got to see. Of course, we especially honor the survivors. They carry the torch for our people, and their presence here at the march is a testament to the resilience and continuity of the Jewish people. Proving that we answer hatred by continuing, with strength, with pride, and with hope. Am Israel Chai.
Thank you, Sylvan, for your inspiring words. V'hisha Amda is an ancient Hebrew prayer sung at every Passover Seder. The prayer states that in each generation, the enemies of the Jewish people seek their demise, but affirms that God ultimately foils their plans. The melody, written by Yonatan Razel, is currently among the most well-known songs in the Jewish world. Let us welcome Lieutenant Colonel Shai Abramson, the IDF Chief Cantor, and his soldiers to lead us in V'hisha Amda.
לאבותינו ולנו, שלא אחד בלבד עמד עלינו לכלותנו, עומד עלינו לכלותנו, והיא שעמדה לאבותינו, והיא שעמדה לאבותינו ולנו, שלא אחד בלבד עמד עלינו לכלותנו, עומד עלינו לכלותנו, והקדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו, מצילנו מידה, והקדוש ברוך הוא יצילנו, יצילנו מידה. והיא שעמדה לאבותינו, והיא שעמדה לאבותינו ולנו, שלא אחד בלבד עומד עלינו לכלותנו, עומד עלינו לכלותנו, והקדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו, מצילנו מידה, והקדוש ברוך הוא יצילנו, יצילנו מידה, שלא אחד בלבד עומד עלינו לכלותנו, לכלותנו, והקדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו, הקדוש ברוך הוא מצילנו מידה. Let's hear you. והקדוש ברוך הוא
I was born in the ghetto of Tarnopol, Poland.
I was born in the city of Lublin in Poland.
I was born in the Mauthausen concentration camp in Austria, just 1 week before we were liberated by the American army.
I was just short of my 4th birthday when our town was invaded and destroyed.
11 éves voltam, amikor bevittek a gettóba.
During the Shoah, I lost my sister, my grandparents, most of my aunts, uncles, cousins, everybody.
I lost my parents and lots of other relatives that are too numerous to mention.
Igen, volt vidéki rokonság, 41-en voltak, senki nem jött vissza.
I lost nearly all my family members. My mother was murdered virtually in front of me.
Mi mamá fue presa y mandada a Auschwitz y nunca más la escuchamos de ella.
I realized that my survival was to make sure that the Holocaust is not forgotten.
Unfortunately, there are fewer survivors left.
We are an endangered species.
Every year there are fewer and fewer of us survivors. I just want to do as much as I can for as long as I can.
I am proud to say that I have been on the March of the Living 13 times. I will continue as long as I can walk.
I have been on the March of the Living 9 times because I need for them to know the history of how I and others survived.
This year is my 11th year going on the March of the Living.
And I'm going to go on the march as long as I can, even if they have to push me in a wheelchair. So there you go.
I'm blessed that I can come back, that I can do it again, and hopefully I can do it again and again.
A survivor telling their own story, it makes the history come alive.
Meg kell nézni, meg kell neki mutatni, hogy soha ne felejtsd el, hogy mi történt.
Make sure that the younger people know what happened and how it happened.
To accompany a group which undertakes this March of the Living is a very important contribution to their experience.
I have been on the March of the Living 14 times and I continue to do it. I find it quite inspirational.
You have to be there with the students to see how much they learn. It's really uplifting.
We need to fight hatred in all its forms.
My message to young people is learn, study.
Do not be a follower, be a leader.
My message to young people today is learn to love.
Don't hate. Try to understand.
You cannot live with hatred in your heart all the time.
Be kind to each other.
Somos todos hijos de la misma madre.
We don't have to love everybody, but we have to respect every person in this earth.
Teach the next generations.
Make sure that everybody will know what you have seen and what you have experienced.
Én azt szeretném, hogy a fiatalok sose felejtsék és emlékeztessék a majdani következő nemzedéket is, hogy mi történt.
Nem felejtsétek el, ami történt, és a gyermekeiteknek se.
My message to you is one
of being proud, of being strong.
Be proud who and what you are.
Hát azt üzenem a mai fiataloknak, hogy ne féljenek kimondani, hogy ők zsidó vallásúak.
We need to be positive. We need to be hopeful.
Never lose hope. Never give up.
We survive, and we will.
Carry our stories and our life experience forward.
We try to pass on our story, and this story is for you, because you are the future.
This story is for you because you are the future, but our journey today would mean nothing without you. I would like to ask all our dear Holocaust survivors in attendance to please rise. It is an honor and a gift to have close to 40 survivors in attendance this evening. Thank you. Thank you for your bravery, for your commitment, for joining us year after year, for sharing your stories of love and loss, and for inspiring the next generation to make a difference. You are our inspiration. As is traditional at a Yom HaShoah ceremony, we will now light 6 candles, each in memory of those we honor from the Shoah. Each candle will be lit by a Holocaust survivor and passed to the younger participants of the March of the Living, who will pledge to transform that remembrance into action. The first candle will be lit by Holocaust survivor Tova Friedman and March of the Living participant Rachel Schnee from the Asher delegation of the United States.
This candle is in memory of the 6 million murdered. I receive this candle and commit to remembering the past and preserving the truth.
The second candle will be lit by Holocaust survivor Eva Cooper from Montreal, Canada, and March of the Living participant Finn Strasser from the Mid-Atlantic Western delegation of the United States.
This candle is in memory of the righteous among the nations. I receive this candle and, in their inspiration, commit to also be an upstander.
The third candle will be lit by Holocaust survivor Shandor Szézler and March of the Living participant Gabor Fekete from the Hungarian delegation.
This candle is in memory of other faiths and identities that were persecuted during the Shoah, I receive this candle and commit to always speak up against all forms of hatred and bigotry.
The fourth candle will be lit by Holocaust survivor Jacques Visser, born in Belgium and part of the UK delegation, and March of a Living participant Lily Biedenstock from the Belgium Jewish Youth Delegation.
This candle is in the memory of the 1.5 million children whose lives were taken away from them before they had the chance to grow up. I receive this candle and commit to live out my life as a Jewish teenager full of Jewish pride.
The fifth candle will be lit by Holocaust survivor Rini Friedman and March of a Living participant Hana Press from the Toronto, Canada delegation.
This candle is in honor of the Holocaust survivors and the lives they rebuilt. I receive this candle and commit to carry their stories forward.
The sixth candle will be lit by Holocaust survivor Herschel Greenblatt and March of a Living participant Eitan Whiting from the Southern Region, United States.
This candle is in memory and honor of all victims and survivors of the Holocaust and modern-day anti-Semitism, who held on to hope even in the darkest times. Light will always prevail in darkness.
Thank you to our torchlighters. You may be seated. We welcome American singer Ellie Schwiebel to the stage to lead us in the song One Day by Matisyahu.
I can feel the love in this room, the love of each one of you who came here to shine your light. So, why don't you take out your phones, shine your light. Let's do this song together. You guys know it. That's right. Thank you very much. Sometimes I lay under the moon and thank God I'm breathing. And I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I'm here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. It's not about win or lose, 'cause we all lose when we feed on the souls of the innocent. Blood-drenched pavement, keep on moving though the waters stay raging. In this maze you can lose your way. It might drive you crazy, but don't let it phase you, no way. There we go. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life One day this all will change, treat people the same. Stop with the violence, down with the hate. One day we'll all be free. I'm proud to be under the same sun, singing songs of freedom like one day, one day, one day. Now you got one. One day. Cause all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't wanna fight no more, there'll be no more wars, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day. One day, one day, one day.
What was the Holocaust?
A war.
What happened during the Holocaust?
People got taken away from their family.
Yes? And what happened to them?
And they had to go and work.
Yes?
And it was hard for them.
And it was hard for them, yes. A lot of people were lost during the Holocaust. I lost my mother and my sister, many uncles and aunts, and a whole slew of cousins. That was the biggest loss, is to lose your family and not have anybody to come back to. But I was lucky, my father survived. So this number, see, the people who went to their death did not get numbers. It's actually a number for life. You want to read the number? 1,
3, 3, 6, 2, 8.
What is the March of the Living?
A program that teaches people about the Holocaust.
Yes, that's exactly right.
How many times were you on the march? 21.
21. It's a long time, right?
Yeah. A lot of my friends will never be able to meet a Holocaust survivor. What should I tell them?
The Holocaust survivors have a big responsibility. You know what responsibility is?
Yeah.
The responsibility is that we have to tell people like you what it is that we lost and what it was, how terrible it was. And to let the people know that you must carry on our Jewish nation and our Jewish religion as best we can, that we have to be proud of who we are. And we must never let anybody tell us that we are less than anybody else. I hope that when you go to on the March of the Living, that you remember me.
I will.
And you tell your friends, I knew that guy. I knew somebody who was in despair. And he came to talk to me when I was 8 years old. And I'm here because of that.
I'll carry your story forward.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, that's so special. Thank you very much.
Despite the almost 100-year difference between them, the bond formed between the Holocaust survivor and child in the video you just witnessed is quite a powerful one. The survivor in the video is Nate Leipziger, who is in attendance here tonight on his 22nd March of the Living program. What an honor to know you. The child in the video's name is Arya Panich. She's my oldest child. Arya is lucky to have had the experience of meeting Nate a few short weeks ago, but her younger brothers will most likely not be as lucky. By the time they are old enough to really understand what the Holocaust is, there will be fewer Holocaust survivors left to tell their stories. Children under the age of 10 and all those who come after them, your younger brothers and sisters, your nieces and nephews, your future children and grandchildren may never have this opportunity, but you do. You are in the presence of close to 40 Holocaust survivors tonight and will be in the presence of over 50 tomorrow. Do not waste a single moment. Listen to their testimony. Hear their stories. Ask questions. Watch how they interact. Cherish every word that they say. We have spoken tonight about passing the torch of memory and how the survivors hope to pass the torch of memory to you, the younger generation. But you must not only be a receiver of the torch. It is now your responsibility to pass it as well. Pass it to Arya, to your younger siblings, to your future children and grandchildren. The memory of the Holocaust now rests on your shoulders, and we believe you will carry it with strength, resilience, and pride. We are now honored and privileged to invite Ambassador Yehuda Caplun of the United States to the stage.
To the survivors, to the organizers of this march, first of all, thank you all for your presence. To all the rest of you in the room, shalom. In Judaism, it is a mitzvah, it is a commandment to guard the deceased, to accompany their soul and ensure that they receive a proper burial. The more than 1 million souls who were brutally murdered by the Nazis at Auschwitz never received a proper burial. There was no shomer, there was no watchman to watch over their body. There was no rabbi to say Kaddish, the mourner's prayer, and no family to sit Shiva, the week of mourning. Yet every one of those victims was an individual. They were mothers, they were fathers, sons, daughters, babies, rabbis, lay leaders, regular people. They were all individuals. But it was the German Nazis' greatest fantasy was to strip them of their humanity and to reduce them to just being a number, to erase their stories and to consign their memories to oblivion. 81 years later, we may not be able to achieve that mitzvah, that commandment of ensuring the victims receive a proper burial. The Nazis made certain of that when they tried to destroy the camps, the evidence of mass graves and their crematoria. Still, there is a commandment we can fulfill, another way to achieve a small measure of justice for those victims of the Holocaust and for those who perished. From generation to generation, memory has always been the key to the soul of the Jewish people. Now, too, we remember the 6 million souls. We remember the word by Zachor. We remember. The Bible commands us to remember. We remember the exile. We remember going out of Egypt. We remember the Sabbath. And yes, today, tomorrow, and every day, we remember the 6 million souls who perished during the Holocaust. By gathering here today to honor the victims we remember, we ensure that the stories of the survivors are told and the stories of those who perished are told, and their memories will not be forgotten. We affirm victims, but each one an individual, real people with real lives and real stories. We refuse to grant the perpetrators a posthumous victory. We absolutely refuse to forget who these people were. Yet even today, we stand, as we will tomorrow, on the hallowed ground. People deny the Holocaust. They distort its facts and diminish its significance. And some even say that it was justified. To those who deny the truth, we answer every one of those baseless claims with a simple question. Do you call all the members of the Allied forces who liberated the camps liars? Do you call the survivors liars? And do you call Elie Wiesel and the authors of numerous books liars? In the face of hatred and unimaginable adversity, what makes you in this room unique is that you celebrate your Jewish identity openly and proudly. That is what it means, Zachor, remember. We remember, and we remember with pride. That is why we're here. On the eve of Passover, on a Friday night in Lebanon, Moshe Yitzchak Katz fell protecting the Jewish nation. He knew what it means to remember. He was a young soldier in the IDF who came from America and who loved his people and his country. His Judaism was a source of pride. He fell in Lebanon on the eve of Passover, protecting the Jewish nation. There was another young soldier who was called up that week on Monday, married a year, and every week he made a custom of bringing his wife flowers. Before he left on Monday, he went to a store and ordered flowers on Friday. The flowers arrived on Friday with a knock on the door. An hour later, his wife answered a second knock, this time to hear news that no one wishes ever to hear. Like these brave heroes, we honor the legacy of those 6 million Jews here by preserving their dignity, by never surrendering to hate, and by, for all of you in this room, being unapologetically Jewish, that is what it means to remember. When Hitler fantasized about Judenrein, a Jewish free world, he made no distinctions about sex, policies, politics, or beliefs. If you were Jewish, he hated you. So tonight we have to say the same thing. Neither will we make distinctions about who we are as a Jewish nation. We are one. Together as one people, we will bear the memory of these 6 million Jews. We will carry forward their stories by living the lives that they could not. Being here today, all of us in this room, from law enforcement to the survivors to the youth, this is how we prove the Nazis wrong. This is how we prove that we as a nation are unbowed and we are well aware of our heritage. Every mitzvah that you do, every good deed and act of kindness that you do, one day at a time, this is how we will claim victory. That will be their legacy, and that's what we will do in their honor. I was privileged for many, many years to walk to synagogue every Saturday morning with Nobel Professor Laureate Elie Wiesel. It is amazing to me that he would share the stories of what he went through during the war. But he was the voice of moral courage. A man who did not have parents in his teen years to teach him. But yet it was he who taught the world that respecting one another is the key for humanity. Today, 81 years later, we also are fighting an axis of evil. And in 1933, when Hitler and the propaganda machine spoke, there were no voices to go on, and they let him go on unopposed. I pledge to all of you here tonight, in my role as ambassador to combat global anti-Semitism, and behalf of our administration, the President, the Secretary of State, our team, our administration, no anti-Semitism anywhere, any place, or by anyone will go unopposed. But as you march tomorrow, all of you, as you walk those steps, realize you're the future of the Jewish nation to make sure that the legacy of 1 million people in that area, in Auschwitz, who were killed simply because they were Jewish, it is incumbent upon each and every single one of us to redouble our efforts to show the world that we will live, we will learn from the past to protect the living of the future. And we will do so unashamedly, without any fear, with pride and dignity. Thank you.
We have said numerous times this evening to the survivors that you are our inspiration. To all the students in the audience, you are our future. Before we close with a tikva, I would like to ask our CEO, Scott Saunders, to leave us with some final thoughts.
Good evening. Thank you, everybody. Ambassadors, Minister Kish, friends, students, thank you. Before I address you, I would like to thank a few people for their work getting us here, and especially those who worked hard on tonight's event. I'd like to thank Whitney, Lucy, and Galit for their creativity and commitment. Moshe Yosef and his team, and Hanan, editors, Yoni and Colin, Ellie Rubenstein, Brooke, for all of their tireless energy, and our performers, Ellie, Happy, and Shai. Our partners at El Padre and all the security teams here this evening, and of course, a special mention for Liz. The whole week ahead of us has had many hands involved, the staff of March of the Living, all of our volunteers who have come to assist, and a special mention to our board of directors who support and guide us at every moment. To our survivors who inspire us, and as you've heard, many who return each year, I would like to mention one in particular who is no longer with us, but came every year, Ed Mossberg, a teacher, an inspiration to many. And his grandson, Barry Levine, is with us tonight. So for him, thank you. All of our supporters, sponsors who help us get here, especially to Kakal. Thank you, Sylvan Adams, for your support, your tireless work for the Jewish people, and your words this evening. And finally, to all of you who have entrusted us with faith and guidance to lead you on this journey. Ladies and gentlemen, this past 6 weeks have been unquestionably some of the most challenging we have faced in recent times. And yet, here we are, standing tall, standing proud. And tonight, as we come to the close of this Erev Yom HaShoah commemoration, we have to look ahead. Tomorrow you will march from Auschwitz to Birkenau, along with 7,000 other participants. We march in memory, we march in unity, and we march for a better future. The questions remain. What do we carry forward? For many of you, especially the students here, the Holocaust can feel a long time ago. The people and the places, the moments we honor tonight belong to a world we never met. But as you go on this journey this week, the responsibility rests with you more than ever. It is you that will be the future leaders, the future change makers in our world. Memory is not just about thinking of yesteryear. It is a bridge from what was to what must never happen again. And in 2 weeks' time, as you resume your daily routine, what will you take back with you? Will you look to continue your education? Will you become an advocate for fighting anti-Semitism on campuses? Will you be inspired to get more involved in your communities? Whatever you decide, always remember the lessons from this week. And hope is an important aspect of that lesson. Remember, hope is a choice we make. We cannot be passive. We must be brave and we must be strong. And we must speak up against hatred or challenge those that do not respect the other. I ask all of you to remember the 11th commandment. Thou shalt not be a bystander. Students of the 2026 March of the Living, you are the next generation. And as have you seen tonight, you are taking yesterday's torch and leading it for a brighter future. The responsibility is great, but with great leaders comes that responsibility, and we are entrusting you with it. The world we live in today is fraught with complexities. It is complicated, it is divided, and it is loud. Remember that truth and dignity matter. Tomorrow, in a place they sent our people to die, we will march together. And we will leave carrying forward the responsibility of hope for a better future. In 1877, Naftali Hertz Imber wrote a poem about hope, and the first few lines read, "As long as in the heart within, a Jewish soul still yearns, and onward towards the end of the East, an eye still looks towards Zion." The poem became the inspiration for a song. The song became an anthem for the return to our ancestral homeland. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite Mr. Gaston Taratuta from Argentina who is leading a very special delegation on this year's march to lead us in the singing that song of hope. He will be joined by Shai, Ellie and Happy. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for this evening. Thank you for being here. Please be upstanding. Hatikva.
Please be seated. This concludes the formal program for the evening. However, we ask for your strict cooperation and coordination as the audience in shifts in order to meet the buses which are currently parked off-site. We will announce which groups can depart in which order from this podium. The first group to depart